So hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you for tuning in into today's video. I am Legendary Eddie 87, and as the title says, you might already have some ideas where I'm going to be going with this video and what I'm going to be pretty much talking about. So before I get into today's video, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button if you enjoy this video. For today's topic, I'm going to just talk about, I had obviously the little intro for this video that you just saw from the past, and now just mainly talking, I'm going to obviously, the main thing I'm going to be talking about is about how my previous movie for the Xenosaga trilogy did, which, you know, Xenosaga, aka I don't have the third game yet. I know it's... So I did a sequel to the Xenosaga trilogy, and I'm going to just talk about how Xenosaga IV did, in my honest opinion, and just as the producer and director of Xenosaga IV, Eternal Circle of Zarathustra. Yes. I'm a huge fan of Xenosaga, and it was really sad to see. I actually beat Xenosaga 3 a long time ago. I'm very familiar with the plots and storyline of the game, of the characters returning to Lost Jerusalem and all the plot points and that, and I really wanted to see a continuing of the Xenosaga trilogy. So today I'm just going to talk about how the film did. I'm also going to talk about previous movies I'm not sure to those who saw my previous movies I've done. I will link them in the description, so definitely check them out. One I probably won't recommend as much as it was one of my first. When I got into filmmaking and as a writer, and I don't like the movie for a variety of reasons, because it was one of my first, one of the big films. I was all over the map. Didn't know what the hell I was doing back then. I didn't have the experience as I do now, and what I've learned right now as a filmmaker, you know, it's all learning experience. As a lot of filmmakers know, the movie was shitty, let's just say that. When it comes to my Zelda movie that I did in 2018 called Return to the Lands, I'll at least just say, I know this is mostly about Xenosaga IV, but I'm just going to throw it out there quickly. It had a lot of problems and issues, and I think it had a lot of potential to become a great movie, but it went downhill. Yeah, I had got some of my friends involved, and I wasn't really wise trying to find some people who had some experience in acting and that stuff. So it resulted for a variety of problems and how it, you know, yeah, pretty much. I'm not going to get too much into it, but let's just get into about the movie. That, as you can see, I have a few costumes. I played Chaos, or Yeshua, from a Xenosaga trilogy. You can see some of the costumes, and some of the costumes I made myself, aka they weren't available anywhere else, so I had to frickin' work my ass off making the costumes to make this production of you know, a sequel to Xenosaga trilogy. Now you also can see right here one of the Testament costumes I made right here for both the White Testament and the Red Testament, which later on I actually dyed it for the movie in general. And then one of the costumes for Chaos, as you can see right here, and then right here for Junior, obviously from the original Xenosaga 1. Yes, so let's just get into my honest opinion how the film did. The film actually did, I guess in the beginning, did get a lot of dislike, I guess, for a variety of reasons. I think the acting was it was good. I'll at least admit, I see the film, it actually did pretty good for just where it stood, pretty much. I know it wasn't perfect, I could have done better. Let's just be honest. I could have done better. That film in general was the longest production than any other films, as much as the current film I'm working on right now, which I'll get into shortly with you guys, and talk about the recent experience of what the newest film I'm working on. A lot of you probably already know about it because I've talked a lot about it on my channel, the newest Zelda movie in production. But Xenosaga IV actually did good. Not great, good enough, let's just say good enough. I was pretty pleased of the views and a lot of the Xenosaga fans enjoying the film, and being decades of, of the series, getting back into it and, making a sequel to the series. So yes, Xenosaga IV did good enough, like I said. Now, about the characters, I know Shion Uzuki did not return, and a lot of people are like, where's Shion in the movie? Like, especially a live-action presentation of the Xenosaga trilogies. I know that might be a huge complaint, which aka didn't get a lot of comments, people complaining about, where's Shion? Shion's not in the movie. Jin's not in the movie. Where's Cosmos? Or, Mary Magdalene, pretty much. I know those are kind of crucial characters in Xenosaga IV, especially all the characters returning to Lost Jerusalem, kind of resetting over of, all the plot points with the Zarathustra and just how Xenosaga III ended. I know. So, I was really expecting a lot of people to complain on those terms, which I didn't get a lot of complaints from the fans with that. I know I had difficulty finding certain actors for those characters, let's just say that, and that's why you don't see Shion or Cosmos or Mary Magdalene, let's just say, because, Cosmos turned into Mary, as you know, in Xenosaga 3, how the whole thing with Xenosaga 3, and then obviously moving into the sequel for the series, it was just really hard on me. Couldn't find the right people. I found the right people for certain other characters that kind of worked good enough in a very remote area. That type of stuff. It just made it very difficult. I couldn't find the right person for Shion, and that's kind of a reason why Shion never made it in the movie, and even Mary as well, aka Cosmos. So that's why you don't see those characters in the movie. Okay. Now, yes, the editing was kind of messy. Let's just admit to it. I will admit to it. I did what I could. This film was in production for 2.5 years, which is not a very good thing in my opinion. I could have got this film out earlier. I could have got it done within the 2 years, but due to its science fiction-ishness, and, spaceships and all that, I had a really difficult time where the film was delayed another half a year, which I didn't want to happen. So this is kind of the behind the scenes kind of, I guess, and also talking about just how the film did, and when the film was in the in the works, and so the fans can hear from the producer and director of Xenosaga IV. Now, yeah, I'm disappointed as well that I couldn't bring those certain characters into the sequel, but I did what I could. I did my best. I would definitely say Xenosaga IV was a good movie. It did a lot better than a lot of my other movies that I've actually did based off video games. It's weird. Most of my movies have been based off video games. I've done a lot of Zelda movies. Some of them, they've sucked. My first movie, which you probably didn't know about before Return to the Lands, which was my second, which it was a bad movie and it was successful, and I'm like question marks going in my head, like, okay, like a bad movie is successful, and then I I was just questioning why it did so well when it had bad acting, bad directing. I guess it's in the media, I guess. Just some bad movies do well. It's weird. Anyway, now, talking about my previous movies, I just, like it happens with every filmmaker, everybody should and generally know this, that with anything, music or anything, you have to be in there for a long time of it, for years, to actually get really good at something, and to actually produce something that was actually decent or very good. It's the same thing with filmmaking and writing. You have to have the experience, blah, blah, blah. To actually get, for instance, with filmmaking, to actually have to have the experience or enough experience to get a good movie out. Maybe your first movie is not going to be the greatest, as other filmmakers are going to be honest about this. Your first movie is going to be shitty, okay? It's going to be bad. It's not going to be good. Maybe there'll be a few good things in it, but for the most part, it's not going to be good. So don't have those expectations that, hey, my first movie is going to be great and it's going to skyrocket and all this stuff. No. Yeah. So, yeah, like, I was too optimistic, let's just say. I really believed that my first movies are going to do great, and they didn't. Return to the Lands received very bad criticism, honest criticism, which was kind of a good thing. I'm just saying that the whole film was just a total mess. Talking about Return to the Lands, for those who've seen it, the film was a mess. I'm just going to be honest. I know I still worked hard on it, put my heart into it, and that stuff, it's just, I didn't know what I was doing, all over the map, that stuff. And I also did a Atelier movie, for those who are Atelier fans, Atelier, Eska, and Logi, and kind of, yeah, Atelier, Shelley, for those who know those games. Originally it was released on the PS Vita, and for the PlayStation 3, I did a live-action movie based off of the two games, Atelier Eska and Logi and Atelier Shelley, kind of taking place as I starred as Logi Thesario. That movie was okay. It had its problems. The special effects weren't great. I know it's still trying to be creative, that type of stuff. Yes. So, mostly I've done movies based off video games. And as we know, making a movie or a sequel, or pretty much a movie based off a video game, is very difficult to pull off. You gotta, know your stuff, and that's the stuff. And a lot of times they do fail. They don't do good. I at least just know that, and happy to know that Xenosaga IV, even when it's been a decade, seeing an actual sequel come out for the trilogy of Xenosaga come out, I personally was completely driven to come out with a sequel for Xenosaga. So I just freaking ran with it, and, wanted to get a Xenosaga movie out, a live action. So obviously, yeah, I ran with it and wished the best, and even when, everything wasn't perfect with the production, especially with the actors, and the person I chose was Wilhelm, which is the cosplaying alchemist. A shout out to you, a friend of mine who played Wilhelm as one of the main villains, obviously in the sequel to Xenosaga. Yes, so now, obviously this video is going to I just really wanted to talk about the past of being a filmmaker, and just being honest here in general. Just being honest, just where a lot of my past films, where they stood, obviously with the Xenosaga movie, which came out last year, and just talking about where it stood, and currently where I am right now for the future. Now, I'm also currently working on a Final Fantasy movie, which I will not reveal until way later in around August. It's also based off a video game. Yes, so currently right now I'm just going to talk about the current Zelda movie I am working on. So much work has been going into it, and I've been just doing what I can to make it the best it can be. And you just do your best, and that's all you can do. And so the name, as I've announced in the previous videos, it's called The Legend of the Dark Battle, A Breath Between Shadows, aka referring to shadow demons. Now, I'm hoping the best, and I already am pretty confident this will probably be my best movie. Kind of beaten all my movies in general when it comes to the work that's went into this movie in general, and definitely for the Zelda fans. Yes, it's going to be very relative to the new Zelda game coming next year, but I don't want to completely follow it too closely, because I'm going to get some of the fans complaining, and it wouldn't be a good thing. So I'm going to kind of keep it separate but very relative in some ways. So yes, so the Zelda movie is coming to a close. I've been very exhausted with the production with this current Zelda movie. It's been so much work. I've worked my ass off with the current movie. Way more work I've put into this Zelda movie than the Xenosaga movie or any other movie I've ever done. I've really, like doing stages of development and like trying to improve scenes and all this stuff, and it just gets so tiring to the point it's just like, I just want to get this movie done. I'm getting sick and tired of, it's just so much work, and, it's just, it gets to you mainly. But yeah, the film, the Legend of the Dark Battle, it's definitely going to be my first horror movie for some of the Legend of Zelda fans. I'm not sure for those who are going to think of Zelda becoming horror, but that's where this current Zelda movie is going to stand. I just don't know if it's going to be mild or medium horror, but yes. So that movie is coming to a close, and then the release is in November. So definitely look forward to The Legend of the Dark Battle, aka having a lot of connections, and it's the pre-sequel to Twilight Princess. So I'm just going to say it. Yes, so I'm hoping the best. The film does very well. I just put so much work into it. And generally speaking, a lot of the fantasy / medieval movies can be so much work. You walk into it and thinking, oh, it's not going to be that bad, and then to the point, you're right in the middle of it, and it's just really tiring, and it really gets to you, and it just hits you like freaking bricks. It's the work, and even like doing the movie sets, and like being a small YouTuber, and like a small filmmaker, and trying to do all these crazy big things for the movie, and like movie sets are taking forever to get them ready for the movie and all this stuff. It's just been so tiring, and had some really bad burnouts too. It happens with every filmmaker and writer. You get these frickin' burns outs, and you're about to frickin' throw in the towel, and it's like, that's it, I don't want to take anymore. That stuff. But don't give up. Keep pursuing it, and just keep going at it until you finish the project in general. I'm just being honest how I truly felt with the current Zelda project and the works. It's been crazy in general. Yes, so now regarding just where I see my channel, I'm hoping the best for my channel. Now, I'm going to be a puppeteer. Things are going to definitely change when it comes to just what I'm going to be filming in general. I just don't know if my channel's going to be doing that great next year. I just don't see it doing that good, to be honest. When I think of the future, and like a previous video, on my channel I've talked about just the end to come, that type of stuff. It's just, you know, like it's you know, I'm not going to get much into it. You know, just check that video on my channel if you want to see it. Be rambling on about some of that stuff, but yeah. And I just want to, before I go, I just want to thank the subscribers who have subscribed to my channel. I highly appreciate it. Thank you for those who have commented on some of my videos. Thank you. I'm doing my best here, what I can, and hey, that's all you can do, right? So anyway, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and you take care, and that is it.